Been plugging away at it, got the mirrors, both mirrors, and the turn signals in the rear on, and started cleaning up the rear fender and brackets and getting that on. I'm gonna start cleaning this up here next and reinstall this. It's got needs some major cleaning. I just thought I'd show this. The turn signals work. Both front and rear. The flasher unit was bad. I did have to put a flasher unit in it. Well, I got the light assembly apart, all the fasteners out. These connectors I'm going to have to clean up with a little toilet bowl cleaner. They're pretty cruddy. So I'll get this all cleaned and polished, and yeah, that needs some major cleaning in there. I don't think the chrome plating was good to begin with in there, but we're going to clean it up the best we can. I think it'll look pretty good when it's done. What you can see will look really nice. Step one was just giving it a good wash with a soap and water and hot soap and water and a brush, and now I'll start I'll clean this stuff with the steel wool and chrome polish. It looks like some of the chrome is compromised, but this is kind of underneath the lip edge of the fender there where you don't really see it. But I am going to clean it up the best I can. Now that I got most of the bike back together, I was able to take apart, put my table away. I still got a box of goodies here. And there's another exhaust. There's 3 exhausts in there. And one of them does have the heat shield on it that I took a screw out of for that one screw that was kind of messed up. And these are pretty much all, some new, some used. These are all used parts, and most of them were off the bike. Before I get started on cleaning, I'll go over my presents. I got this in the mail last night. So we got the bulb for the tail light. There we go. Just cleaning this up with the little Dremel with a fine wire brush, and then I'll clean it with some steel wool and chrome polish. But you know, a lot of this isn't visible. This goes on over here, and the license plate, and then the fenders under it. So what you see, the chrome is actually still decent other than that part, and I'll clean all that up too. I'll just have to keep my eye out for another one of these. You know, maybe I can find a new old stock one and just replace it. But I think it'll clean up and look okay. So anyway, you get the picture. This it cleaned up pretty good. There's still, you know, the chrome is kind of messed up under there, but this part, you know, when it's together, it's kind of behind the license plate here, so you don't really see it, and this is all covered up. You don't see into here. I cleaned that up. That was never really visible or chrome plated. The only thing that you're going to see that's kind of messed up looking is right here, and that was never really that great chrome from day one there and on this side. That back part's, you know, kind of hidden by the fender, all that stuff. You just can't see it. But if I can find this piece, maybe this piece, new old stock, maybe I'll replace them, we'll see. Kind of like to leave the original stuff on the bike, but That's, you know, maybe in the future have it re-chromed. I think if I ever replace the rear tire, I'll have the rim re-chromed. The rear rim is the only thing really chrome-wise on the bike that, and that tail light. But the rim looks pretty darn good, and that tail light looks pretty darn good. But like I say, if I end up changing that tire, I'll just pop the spokes off and have the rim chrome plated. And I'll have these outer pieces chrome plated. You can buy these new, but they're aftermarket, and the quality is garbage compared to the OEM ones. And finding OEM ones is just about impossible, and I'm not going to put garbage on it in the future. Like I say, if I chrome that rim, I'll have these. Just this part of the chrome is perfect. Just these on the rear and this I'd have re-chromed. And I polished all the bolts and stuff. I think I'm done with the polisher, so I might put it away here shortly. But let me get this on, and I got to clean up the taillight lens. There's some grease on it. WD-40 will work. You don't want to use like thinners or solvents on your plastic. It'll ruin them. But WD-40 does a pretty good job of cleaning the goo off, and I'll clean all the wax out of the lettering and stuff too. I'm going to clean up some more wiring connections with some toilet bowl cleaner. The wiring that is attached, I'll show you here in a second. Let me just fill up my paint cap here. Probably enough. The wiring connects up just inside of this. You can see how short the pigtail is off this light, and that connects into this. And they're just really nasty, so I'm just going to clean them up. And before I put it back together, so I'll give those a little soak and throw it together. These were so cruddy on the inside you couldn't even see the terminals in there, and now you can see them, and they're brass colored. So let's get all this assembly together. Hooked up the wiring. Gotta clean this up. I'll put a little coat of wax on all this here, and I still gotta put the plate and the lens on, but it looks pretty good. Just kind of go around and give you an overview, and then I'll finish throwing it together. It looks pretty darn good. Running lights on. And let me see if I can reach. That's the front brake. The rear brake light switch is bad, so I'm waiting on that to change that. So it came out pretty nice. The last thing I got to do other than start it and adjust the clutch is the little thing for the trip meter reset broke. There's a little screw. You can see the tip of it right there. I'll push it out so I can see what kind of screw head, and I'll get a microscopic screwdriver and try and get down there and get this one off and put it on the speedometer. This one is off, I think, a 78 bike, and it shows 3,600 miles. And this is the original. It shows 11,910, but there's a few more thousand miles on it. So the bike has about 14,000 miles on it. This is the little itty bitty screw I just pushed out. It's a Phillips. And you can barely see the Phillips head on there, but that screw is bent. I don't know if it shows up or not as kind of bent. So hopefully the screw in the other speedometer will be good. I just used my single zero Phillips and got it down in there and got the screw out, and this screw is not bent. So I'm going to clean this up, and we're going to install it and the speedometer. Okay, that's on and working, so time to install the speedometer. Now I can reset the trip meter. This, you pull the knob out, so you turn it in, push it in, does nothing. You pull it out, and you can set tenths. So when you're on like rides where you got to do so many miles and find a checkpoint, or, you know, it's times when you need to know exactly right to the tenth of a mile how far you've gone. So there we go. The trip meter is set back to 0. So let's take a walk around it here. I'll crank it up and adjust the clutch another day when the weather's a little nicer out. It's kind of crummy out, and I don't want to have a bunch of condensation in the exhaust system. It's, you know, it's new exhaust. I don't want it to rust out by leaving it sit with water in the system. I'll probably put the road coverage insurance back on it, and then I can take it out on the road. I've had the road coverage suspended for a while. Might even contact Haggerty and see what they charge for insurance on the bike. Might be cheaper than where I have it now. Seems like every time I turn the video camera on, the furnace turns on. Toolkit's back in, by the way. No reason why it shouldn't start. It'll probably start on the first kick. It always does. It was running before I took it apart, so if it has spark, it should start right up. I've never rebuilt the carburetor on this thing. Run it every year since it was new and ridden it, so carburetor stayed clean. We'll get it outside and get some video on the, like I say, when the weather gets a little nicer, and take it for a ride. Won't be long, a couple more weeks, we'll have some decent weather to where I can get it out and run it. We also have a working light in the speedometer. That hasn't worked in years either. That looked the worst because all this was chipped and stuff from the cruddy back roads from when they chloride them. So that looks really nice now. So basically I'm just waiting on this brake light switch for the rear brake pedal, and then the bike is pretty much all 100% done, and I will do a tripod up the camera when I go to start it for the first time to adjust the clutch. And like I say, I want to wait until we get a little better weather. I just adjusted the chain, gave it its final adjustment sitting on the bike, and torqued the nut and put a cotter pin in there so I don't forget. I wouldn't want to go out riding and have that nut come loose and things start flopping around. So keep an eye on my videos, and we'll do a video of cranking it up and adjusting the clutch and taking the bike for a little ride. Hit the like button if you enjoyed my video. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.